In this video, I want to show you how you can install and run the program Prokka to do your prokaryotic genome assembly. So I'm in my terminal. This will be your Windows subsystem for Linux for those of you on Windows. And the first thing we want to do, and I put the code here, so if you have Mamba, which is most of you, you would do Mamba activate a genome assembly. So whatever environment you created last time, that's what you're going to want to do. So if you have Conda, you'll do Conda activate. If you have Mamba, you'll do Mamba activate. So let me try to copy that again. Copy, paste, and that should activate the environment called genome assembly. So that's what I want to do first. Then I want to install that Prokka program. So once it says genome assembly or whatever you called the environment yesterday, you can install the program itself. So again, if you're on Mamba, you just copy this full line. If you're using Conda, just replace Mamba with Conda, paste it there. And I think I already have it installed in this environment, so it may not want to do it, but let's see what happens. But it'll do something like this. It's searching. So remember, it's using Mamba to install Prokka, and it's searching different channels to see where Prokka is, and then wherever it finds it, that's where it'll install. Okay, so it looks like I have most of the things, but I'm gonna go ahead and hit yes anyway. Maybe it'll update or upload. So let's go ahead and hit yes. Okay, so now that it's done, I'm going to make sure that I navigate to my external hard drive where I have everything stored. And for those of you on the Windows subsystem for Linux, you can either do like the shift right click if that works for you, or you can see the other video I've posted for how to like mount your hard drive so you can, or your external drive so you can navigate there. Or if you have it on your computer, like that's fine too. You don't have to have it on an external drive. I just do because it saves memory on my computer. So I'm going to make sure that I navigate to my drive. Remember, if you're on a Mac, you can do CD and then drag and drop and hit enter. If you're on the Windows subsystem for Linux, you'll also need to do CD if you're having to type in the file path. But again, you can see the instructions. So the last line of code that we need to do in order to run Prokka is down here. And I want to kind of break this down for you. So Prokka calls the program. It says, let's run Prokka. This command right here, out directory, it's going to create an output directory. And I'm calling mine Prokka annotation, but you can call it whatever you'd like. This command here, prefix, is going to give the files a prefix name. And since we know our organism is Salmonella, I put Salmonella. The last thing we have to put here is the file that we want it to annotate, our assembly. And so my assembly is in a folder called Abyss Output. And your folder hopefully has a similar name. It doesn't really matter, whatever your folder is called. And then I want to do the one that was created last, which happens to be salmonella-8.fa. And so I want it to look for the file in this folder. So the program Prokka will go to the folder called Abyss Output, and then it will look for the file called salmonella-8.fa. So again, what hopefully you've noticed is that I've got a text editor, or you could use your notepad if you're on Windows, either one. And I put my commands in here so that I can edit them if I need to, or if maybe I made a mistake, I can, fix it and I don't have to retype the whole command again. So now we're ready to run Prokka. And so I'll copy that command, paste it here and hit enter. And again, this can take, it says sometimes up to an hour, but you'll notice that it has started working. It is doing things, and it created that folder of Prokka annotation right here. And it's got a file in there already. And here's another file. So it's running, it's doing things. I started it, it's 12:14. So I'm gonna step away for a little while, and I will come back and see when it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and then I'll start it again when we're done. Okay, I actually didn't even have time to really step away from my computer. It's 12:16 and it's done. So that was pretty quick. So the file that we're really interested in is this .tsv. So these files here, like the GFF, GBK, these are files that you, in theory, could upload to like NCBI. We can take a look at this FNA. We'll open it with the text editor, see what it looks like, right? It's all these like little gene sequences and where it assigned them. What's the FAA? Let's take a look. Right here it's giving you protein sequences, hypothetical protein, intermembrane protein. But this is kind of hard to read, right? So we're going to go ahead and read this file called the salmonella.tsv. And so TSV files you can usually open in Excel. So let's do open with Excel. Those of you on a Mac, sometimes it tries to default open in Numbers, which is like the Mac OS Excel equivalent, but you should be able to force open it in Excel. And now what you can see here is like all of the different genes. And so, you know, you can go through and search for like your favorite gene. Let's see if I can find one. Sometimes they don't have a symbol, so it can be tricky, but there's REC-A. Let's look for DNA gyrase, DNA gyrase inhibitor, DNA gyrase inhibitor, DNA gyrase. So you can kind of go through here and search all of the different proteins. So it lists all the different proteins. A hypothetical protein is one where it has a coding region, but they don't know what the protein does. Remember in the previous video, I told you we don't know a lot about what all the proteins do. Here's various ribosomal proteins. Let's look for maybe some of the rRNA. 23S rRNA methyltransferase. Here's the 5S ribosomal. Here's a tRNA. So you can see that you get a lot of cool information just by doing this annotation. And so now the genome that we've sequenced and we've assembled becomes a lot more informative.